Greg Garza. Oh, wait a second now. Hang on. That's a great green screen you've got there, Greg.
No green screen here. No green screen here.
Where in the wide world of sports are you, sir?
I'm in Atlanta, Georgia right now.
You're outdoors, and
no, I'm just kidding. I think it's super stormy back home right now.
It is. I was wondering. Yeah. It's like, wait a second. Did it move by that fast while I've been filibustering in the first half hour?
I am in Canada right now.
No way. Where?
Yeah, in Toronto.
So why are you in the T-Dot? What's going on in the Golden Horseshoe?
This is where my girlfriend lives.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mazel tov. Let's see. That means that it should be pizza, Swiss chalet. You got it.
Some poutine.
Oh,
That's where it's at.
Got to get the poutine. Yeah. Absolutely true. And make sure that they continue to be frustrated about their sports teams, Toronto FC and the Maple Leafs. The only thing they've got going on for them right now are the Argos, and they had their quarterback.
Yes, I know. And the Jays. You got the Jays. I don't know how the Jays are doing.
I don't either. I'm not a baseball guy that much anymore.
Yeah.
Give me minor league stuff, and it's all good.
Yeah.
But you're multitasking. I mean, you're up there in the Golden Horseshoe, and you are in a place that is far better meteorologically than it is here. I mean, that is
it is currently 68 degrees right now.
Well, hang on. Let's see if we can convert it quickly. So cut it in half, 68 degrees.
Cut it in half and divide it by 2.
Okay, so 34, 17. So 17. It is 17 degrees where Greg Garza is right now.
I'm surprised you knew that. Cut it in half, divided by 2. There you go.
Well, and I will say that it's because of the years that I spent as a U.S. correspondent for one of the networks up there.
Okay.
And so literally I would be going up there to Toronto onto King Street in the studio and hanging out there and going to Gretzky's Steakhouse on my way to Sky Dome and all that kind of stuff. So no, I know exactly too many times about what it's like to try to convert from Celsius to Fahrenheit and loving the value of the American dollar versus the Canadian dollar when it comes to shopping.
That is very true.
You were finishing up a mentoring session before you came on with us, and mentoring never stops, does it? I mean, as a mentor, you've got to be on call almost 24/7, 365, don't you?
I honestly tell parents. I had a call with a parent, I believe like a discovery call yesterday, and I told them that I'm available 24/7. And the dad was like, "What do you mean you're available 24/7?" And I'm like, I'm available 24/7. I mean, sometimes I have to mentor a kid at 9 p.m. Pacific time, and that's midnight for me, right? And I'll still do that session even if it's at midnight for me, because that's, most kids probably finish up their training sessions at around that time, and I have to be available for those people. So I think that's kind of the beauty, and also the trenches that you have to go through of being an entrepreneur. You're probably working sometimes 18, 19-hour days. And that's, if you truly want to be successful at something, you got to always be ready for every encounter and every day that you have, and kind of have that obsessive mentality. I love Arnold Schwarzenegger, what we talked about, always having the mindset of moving forward and keeping the mind busy. I think that's like the very first line of like his documentary is, "What is depression? Depression does not exist. If you keep your mind busy all day," you got to say it. You got to do it, man.
What is depression? You have to keep your mind busy all day, Greg Garza. That is how we do things here.
Exactly.
No such thing as depression.
Yeah, and that's kind of how we are as mentors. You keep my mind busy. If I have 20 minutes during my day, then those 20 minutes probably are taking a power nap or going to the gym, one or the other.
Yeah, because you have to keep your mind and your body in tune with each other. You have to make sure that everything is this finely tuned machine. No matter if you have to deal with things north of the border, south of the border, wherever the border is, you have to make sure that every part of the machine is the way it's supposed to be, yeah?
Exactly that.
When you said you had a discovery call, I think this is the first time that we've gone into the process of trying to figure out a path for a mentee. When you go on this path, when you make those first steps and someone wants to be, or a family wants to have their young athlete, mentored by you and Michael and Beyond Goals and everyone else that's attached to it. When you have a discovery call, what goes into that?
Man, that's the discovery call is just to see if it's going to be a right fit for that kid. Sometimes it's speaking with the kid. Most of the times it's just speaking with the parents. Obviously it's an investment that they're making, right? And so it's just wanting to make sure that they're making the right decision. And I think for me, I'm usually okay with it as long as it's not the parent talking to me for an hour about their player. I'm very. I guess I should probably be much better at that, and cutting it sometimes short, because sometimes you can get on the phone with the parent and they'll talk for an hour and a half about their frustrations with their kid or whatever it is, and sometimes you might not ever hear from that person ever again after kind of telling you their frustrations of what goes on. But usually it's just to kind of get a better idea of how we can serve their kid and how we can serve them as a family, and hopefully kind of just getting them on board with obviously making the investment of having us in their corner and serving their young athlete the best way possible.
When you have discussions past discovery call and you're in the full mentoring process, and I asked Michael this question and he admitted that it was a hard one to kind of think about off the top. Is there a question or questions that you wish you were asked more, or asked period, that you've never been asked in your mentoring process? Something that probably needs to be addressed from a larger spectrum or a larger stage, but it's a question that you never get asked about a topic that really does need to be addressed.
I think it might have been me that you asked this.
Yeah.
Man, I think it was really hard for me to answer that as well, because I think I may have answered you. I don't remember what I said. I think I may have said just maybe just preparation, and I think more so of just kids understanding their responsibilities, and maybe this I wish I was asked more how to compartmentalize
Mm-hmm.
different situations
Yeah.
throughout your day, because I feel like the more kids can understand routine and preparation, um, the better they can kind of plan their days. Um, but I mean, I love being. I would say my favorite questions are always how to deal with bouts of confidence, how to deal with when things aren't going so well, how to deal with failure, how to deal with because I feel like throughout my career and throughout things that I went through personally, I feel like I've dealt with a lot of failure. I feel like I've dealt with a lot of rejection. I feel like I've dealt with a lot of adversity. And I think I kind of use that whenever I speak motivationally to whether it's middle schools or Title One schools within Atlanta. Um, just trying to embrace every single moment. And I would say those are probably my favorite questions. Maybe I wish I was asked more of those questions. But that give a great answer right now to that question is that the kid that I just spoke to was that's exactly what we just talked about. Um, the kid is moving here in a little bit. He's going to move away from his parents, move away from his girlfriend, and just feeling a certain level of insecurity and uncertainty with the decision that he's making on moving away. And I think I always I think I don't know if I was talking to you the other day, but I use the example of I was watching the Dodgers. I think I was talking to you the other day about it.
You're talking to the Angels fan about the Dodgers, Greg.
Yeah. And it was an interview, and they were interviewing Mookie Betts.
Yeah.
And did we not talk about it the other day? I don't know.
This is first time I've heard.
This is new. Okay, yeah. They were interviewing Mookie Betts, and the guy's like on 30 homers for the year, and he hadn't hit a homer within like the last 8 games. And it was just like this guy had a certain level of insecurity and like self-doubt.
Yeah.
And you're talking with a guy who is a future Hall of Famer, for sure, a future Hall of Famer. A guy who's on freaking 30 homers for the year, and he's dealing with self-doubt and not confident and insecurity of his own self. And he's admitting it on national television. And the guy who was interviewing, I think the broadcaster was just like, what the hell, man, right? I'm talking to Mookie Betts here, a guy who's a future Hall of Famer and someone who is dealing with self-doubt and insecurity and uncertainty of how he's batting on 30 homers for the year because he hasn't hit a homer within the last 7 games. And it's just so interesting to me that sometimes guys who are at their best, sometimes guys who are the best at what they do. This guy's an amazing baseball player, and he still deals with uncertainty and insecurity and self-doubt. And that's exactly what I told this kid about, right? There are always going to be moments in life, even when you are at your best. And I think Parkey always used a great example of Joseph Martinez when he was about to break the record in 2018 for most goals scored. And there were moments where Parkey would let him score in training because you could just see this guy's confidence break down within the middle of training. And Parkey would let him score because you see a guy, even at his highest, that still deals with levels of insecurity and uncertainty. And I think it's so interesting to me that, and I think it's a good lesson learned, and it's a good lesson to be valued, especially for that kid that I was speaking to this morning, that it's okay. We all go through those moments, and it's okay to feel a certain level of uncertainty about yourself and something especially that's new that you're about to encounter or kind of have to confront.
Because we're always chasing shadows. The shadow can be family based, it can be athletic based, it can be performance based. There's always that shadow that we're chasing. Something from our past is always triggering the storm cloud. And the biggest thing that we try to combat is making sure that we can push the cloud away and keep the sun there. And sometimes it's really difficult to keep that storm from rolling in. And those shadows are what controls guys like Mookie Betts, the idea of chasing perfection in quotation marks, because they always say, what is it? Practice doesn't make perfect. Perfect practice makes perfect, but we never get there. And for athletes or for business folks or whomever that are always chasing what they think the top is, those shadows are always going to be there. And I think it's only been recently where we can be okay in sharing that kind of information. I think it's a generational thing where folks of a certain age, you're supposed to suck it up. You're supposed to just sit there and take it and chase after it. And, you're buck it up, buttercup, persevere, and all those kinds of things. But I think we've had this sea change where to say it's okay not to be okay and let folks in on what's going on as you're chasing all these shadows.
Yeah. I'm a pretty religious cat, and I, loved having our Bible studies and speaking to our chaplain while playing every club that I played at. And one thing that I always saw as a common denominator and as a constant is that when you go through Bible readings or when you go through, the Bible itself, and I know you never argue about religion or politics.
Right.
But I love using this example, and it's just when you go through the Bible, that every reading and every chapter has some sort of trial and tribulation. Everything that you read within, even from before time, and these writings that are written by people from, you know, way back when, there's always trials and tribulations that you have to go through. And whether they are valuable lessons that you learn, whether they are things that you don't get through, or whether they are anybody who believes in something. And I always use religion because it just gives you something to believe in. Some of the best friends that I had within my career are Muslim, and some of the best friends that I had within my career are Jewish, or they read other things, or they believe in other things. And all of these things that we believe in have certain levels of trials that you have to get through, certain levels of tribulations in the trenches of going through something to get to the other side. And that is like the beauty that I think is able to kind of be learned, and the lessons that you can learn from those things is that every day is a new day, to where you don't know what is going to happen. There's going to be maybe some lesson that you have to learn, whether it be a really cool one that you have to go through, or whether it be a really crappy thing that you have to go through. There's going to be some lesson learned. And I don't know if I feel like I'm always mentoring, and I feel like I always see different things, but I always use this example of like the growth mindset. Um, it's such a good way that kids don't realize that even in elementary school and middle school, and we didn't have growth mindset whenever we were in school. We didn't have growth mindset whenever we were in elementary school and middle school. And nowadays it's so popular, growth mindset versus fixed mindset. And, I always use this example as I was listening to a podcast or some motivational video, and it was just talking about, in elementary school, or you're in fifth grade, or you're in middle school, and you wake up every day and you're like, oh my God, it's going to be the same day again. Or you wake up, oh my God, I'm going to have to do homework, or I'm going to have a pop quiz, or whatever it is. But when you wake up, and let's say a day before, and you have this awesome field trip, and you're going to go to DC, or you're going to have this awesome field trip, and you're going to go to a museum, or you're going to go do whatever the heck you're going to go do. What do you feel that night before? What are your emotions like that day you wake up when you have a field trip? And it's like, you're super excited because you're going to learn something that's unknown. You're going to learn something that's might be something that teaches you, or helps you with your own wealth of knowledge, or help you gain more wisdom, or help you encounter something new. And this guy was like, well, why can't you have this mindset that every day is going to be something unknown? Every day is going to be something that teaches you something new. Every day is going to be a field trip. And if you have your mindset, your kind of growth mindset into that, then you're going to have some pretty wicked days. You're going to have a better way of thinking about what you're going to encounter. And it's going to help you kind of always, like Arnold Schwarzenegger says, move forward.
Move forward.
Yeah.
Have to move forward, Greg. That is what you do.
Exactly.
All right. So since you've opened this door, let me go ahead and walk through it. Since you're, by your own admission, you're kind of you're a religious cat. What is a favorite verse of yours that is below the radar? We all know the ones that get quoted sometimes when I'm doing a post game interview or something like that. Discussing things about the man and all things that strengthens me and all those kinds of things. Give me one of your favorite verses that's below the radar that maybe a lot of folks may not know about. But as a student of religion and Bible study, what's one that sticks with you that may not be known by a lot of others?
I have Proverbs 21:31 tattooed on myself. I like that one. Does anybody know that one?
Nope, go for it. What is it?
Horse is made ready for the battle, but the victory belongs to the Lord. I like that one. Horse is made ready for the battle, but the victory belongs to the Lord. I feel like that one just always, it's like we are well prepared for every challenge that we have to overcome and face. But I feel like Messi is like a great example of that, right? It's like every celebration that he has, it's like that free kick that he had when the fireworks went off before even he shot it, because they already knew it was going to be a goal, because the script was already written, right? But it's like he was made ready for that free kick right there. This guy it was perfectly set up, right? The horse was made ready for that battle. But when he scored that free kick, man, it's like the victory belonged to, the man upstairs, and it's like the first thing that he does after every time scoring. That's why I used to love like watching Kaká, and I have Kaká's jersey from playing against him in Orlando. It's like that guy opened the pathway for so many people out there to believe in something, because his celebration was so unique and so valuable. Where all celebrations are, I love every celebration, but like the very first memory that I have of somebody pointing to the sky was Kaká. Like that was that guy's key celebration, right? He would score a goal, and that was the first thing that he would do: run and point to the sky. And that's like for me, being a teenager and kind of like starting to understand more of religion, because I think I went to church every Sunday as a kid, and I need to go much more now, even as an adult. But I didn't really start to understand the value of just what to believe in, and I think I respect all religions there, because I think ultimately, as long as you believe in something that pushes you forward and gives you something to kind of use for your benefit, then there's nothing wrong with that, right? It's like I'm a person who is very open-minded. It's as long as there's something for you to believe in, I'm not ever going to be one to argue against. It's like that's why I never argue within politics. And it was so funny because there was an older man from New York on my flight. Yeah, from New York, and we were walking back to go through customs. And
go through customs.
We were walking. Yeah,
what's going on?
We needed to stop to get a coffee after at Tim Hortons.
Timbits, brother. See, Timbits, that's where you got to go, brother. You're out there.
But it was just like he was. What did he? Oh, he was. He saw a tattoo. He was on the escalator going up with me, and he saw my tattoo. It said 1991. He said, "Was that the year you were born?" And I said, "Yes, sir." And he said, I like that idea. That's a good tattoo. He said, I don't like these ones that have something to deal with politics. And I was just like, yeah. And I said, there's two things that you never argue with in this world, and it's religion and politics. And he just said, because and it was so interesting because it was like, that was my lesson for the day. Much older man. He lived in Florida. Or where else would you live as an older New Yorker, man? You got to live in Florida.
Or you still live in the hood.
Yeah, very true. He was from the Bronx or from Brooklyn, and he lives in Florida.
There you go.
But he just said, religion is something that it gives you something to believe in. And he was like, in politics, we don't know what the hell is going on in politics, so why the hell are we always going to argue about it? And he's so right. You never know what's going on, man. Unless you're in it, you don't really know what the heck is going on. So it was, and I think that for me, as long as you have something to believe in, for me, religion, that's what it is. And I love religion because that's what it's so cool about it. It's like, even my best friends that I played alongside who might have been Muslim, it's like, it gives them something to believe in. It gives them something to use to their benefit. I just didn't want to room with a Muslim because at freaking 4 a.m., man, they were praying. And I was trying to get some sleep for my game. And I think the first time I roomed with one of my friends who was Nigerian and sporting, and I just remember I thought some ghost and some shadow was in our room at like 3 or 4 a.m. because he was praying, and I just heard him humming. And I was like, I woke up and I was like, what the heck is going on in this room? And that was my first experience. And I think after that, I asked the administrator, I was like, can you please put the two Muslims together that we have on our team so they can do it together and not scare the crap out of me in the middle of the night. But yes, that's I guess that's my take on that.
When was the last time, even though you knew in your soul that you were correct in the path that you were taking, it doesn't matter if it was personal, professional, whatever, when was the last time that you still hesitated before executing something, even though in the end your assessment was correct? Have you ever had that kind of a mental roadblock, since we've been talking about that this morning, even though you knew you were right, even though you ended up being right? When was the last time you still hesitated before you took that first step?
I think that's got to be every day for all of us, right? It's got to be every day. There's got to be some sort of hesitation that we go through each and every day. Whatever decision that we are making, it's you gotta. There's always one of hesitation. You know, everything that we do, and I think it just goes back to that interview that dude was having with Mookie Betts, right? It's like there are always, and it was so cool to see somebody who is like set for the rest of their life, generationally set, right? This guy is making what, $200 million within 3 or 4 years. And this guy still deals with uncertainty and levels of insecurity. And that just goes to show that money is not everything. That just goes to show that what this guy is doing at a level that is like amazing is not everything. That this guy still has some sense of hesitation that he deals with each and every day. And for him to kind of say that on national TV and kind of be very open about it, I think says a lot about his character. I think that's so interesting for me to see. This seeing him on 30 homers for the year, man. This guy's killing it. He's Hall of Famer, and this guy is like saying, "Yeah, I don't feel confident right now."
But that's the thing. I mean, It's like you have, and it could be a captain of industry. It could be, it could be Mookie Betts. There's always, like I said, it comes to the art of the chase. And it's like you're always chasing perfection. You're trying to make sure that whatever's trying to grab at you from behind and keep you from being successful stays back there, and that you can kind of put it at arm's reach. But I think that it's interesting to have folks be more open about it these days. It's not something that I don't think we're really still used to hearing, that these individuals who are the best at what they do. I mean, think about it. Baseball is a sport where if you are successful 3 out of 10 times, you're still viewed as a Hall of Famer. That means that you're not successful 7 out of 10 times when you're in the batter's box. And I don't think a lot of folks look at it from both of those perspectives. It's like, man, I haven't hit a home run in 8 days. I have all of this weight that's on top of me. If you fail in the batter's box 7 times out of 10, you're still a Hall of Famer. And it doesn't compute sometimes with those that are chasing the best and who are the best at what they do.
I'm just trying to pull up his stats right now, right, for the season.
Okay.
And the guy right now is batting almost 290.
Okay.
Right. And so there's your theory right there. Mm-hmm. Right. It's like the guy I mean, man, it just amazes me to see like how players are, sometimes at their best or sometimes doing super well, and they still go through bouts of confidence. And it's, man, these Dodgers are in first place right now. I'm just looked at that. Dodgers are in first place in National League West, and so it's like, yeah, I'm sorry about your Angels. Will they make the play? Will they make the World Series playoff run or no?
No. We are awful. We kept Shohei Ohtani, and we traded for a bunch of dudes to come in right at the trade deadline. And so what has happened? We've lost 8 of 10. We're now 7.5 back in the wild card. and we've spent a lot of money. And now Ohtani will leave at the end of the season. He'll probably go to the Dodgers. The Dodgers will pay him, and will continue to stink. So there you go. That is the microcosm of the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim from Orange County off of the 5 freeway, whatever their nickname is these days. So yeah.
I'm sorry to hear that. I'm a Texas Ranger fan. I know we're doing good right now, so I'll take it.
Yeah, hey, and we just passed an important anniversary of Nolan Ryan getting in the fight and giving the noogies to Robin Ventura. We just passed that anniversary.
You and I have talked about Nolan Ryan before, I think, on this podcast.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Nolan
Ryan.
What a good documentary to watch, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Great documentary, even though much older, but just to see, like, I think one thing for me, we had our first Beyond Academy, and I know we're running over time here. We had our first Beyond Academy meeting last night with the Academy. That was our first with Atlanta United Academy. And, one thing that I said to every single player ending our conversation, I think probably stuck out to them the most. And after finishing it, I think that it stuck out to the team mom of the whole entire academy. Was I said, boys, I just want you to realize that when you put on that crest, and there's something that was said to me, is when you put on that crest, it should be served as a privilege. You guys, there's so many kids out there that look up to you, even if you are 13 years old or if you are 12 years old. I told them, look, the jersey that you guys are wearing, the jersey that you guys get to wear, I just want to let you guys know that I put that star on that jersey for you guys. But my sons, my kids look up more to you guys than they do to me. The guy who put a star on the jersey that you guys get to wear each and every day, to be a part of that team that put that star on that jersey. But my own kids, they look up more to you guys at the academy than they do their own dad. And so I just told them that goes to show how much of a role model you guys are to kids out there. And so, I just told them, don't take that for granted. Use that to the best of your ability in regards of making the right decisions, because it's not only how good of a player you are on the field that got you there. It is a lot of personality and character traits and what you guys and how you conduct yourselves off the field as well. And that's you, when you wear that crest, every decision that you're making off the field as well should also be a big turn into that.
No doubt about it. And don't ever worry about going to extra time. It doesn't matter how many minutes the fourth holds up on the light board. Don't ever worry about extra time.
Nowadays with the 11 minutes extra that you're getting, man, oh my gosh.
Yep. Got to make sure that all of that
what
stuff.
What was the Arsenal goal in the Community Shield? It was like 90 plus 11.
Yeah.
90 plus 9.
Yeah. It's so don't ever worry about extra time on this show. It doesn't matter how many minutes are held up. We can always go. That's the beauty of it all. All right, what's going on? Good. What's going on with the Beyond Goals with you and Cap?
Obviously, holding our first Beyond Academy session last night, which went absolutely fantastic and continuously growing. I think we've started to see it's so valuable for. We've also just made a few more small college deals that are awesome that we can be implemented within their program, which is really cool. So that's something that's so cool. And I just saw Miss Abby ask, where did we have our academy session at? We had it virtually. Parky is in Ohio. I'm here in Canada at the moment, and every kid was able to connect via Zoom. But the cool thing, we will be down there at their dinner with Arthur at the stadium, their inauguration to the year, and their new season at the end of August. And Mike and I will be there as special guests and kind of solidify that connection and relationship and bond, and also connect with all the families and kids, and give them something to look up to.
Awesome. And Abby also wanted to reiterate a big thank you to you and Mark for taking time to serve ice cream to the supporters when you got out the scoops to help folks out.
I think I was asked last time how many cups of ice cream did I have, and I had only one ice cream that whole entire time. That was at the very end. Now, this is what amazes me is that what flavor do you think was the most asked flavor being there? And my kids love this flavor, and I don't even remember eating this flavor as a kid. What do you think it was?
Well, I've gotten recently into birthday cake flavored ice cream.
Okay, my kid had that for his I think is for his birthday cake. For his birthday.
Okay.
He had birthday cake flavor.
Okay.
But no, that was not one of the options. And no, it was not strawberry.
All right. So which one was it?
It was cookies and cream.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, I don't even remember. It was chocolate, vanilla, or cookies and cream. Now, what did you? My go-to was chocolate when I was a kid. It's always chocolate. I don't even remember like seeing cookies and cream whenever I was a kid. It was probably just like chocolate, vanilla, or strawberry.
And that's the thing is like my mom would get the Neapolitan brick.
Okay. Yeah.
And then you just go right across and you get all.
Oh yeah. There you go. Yeah, for sure. I'm down with that.
That's how it was for me growing up, but I gravitated to Rocky Road, Heavenly Hash, cookies and cream, but now I've just been getting the Jones for birthday cake.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And
I think I would go if I were to choose anything. I would just always go with the coffee ice cream.
Okay.
That's my go-to. If you ever go to Marble Slab, you ever go to like wherever they kind of put it in, they kind of mix everything in. What a Cold Stone coffee with Heath bar is my go-to.
Okay.
Coffee with Heath bar is such a good.
What I have done at times, if I'm stuck with just vanilla, I will take Reese's peanut butter cups, ground them up, and put them in the vanilla ice cream.
That's a good go-to as well. That's a good go-to.
And so the caloric intake when I'm dealing with ice cream just goes kind of like this. It goes through the roof. But the one thing that gets me these days is that and Abby's a big fan of Butterfinger now, and I completely get that too. But when you buy ice cream these days, they say, X number of servings per container of ice cream. That is the biggest fallacy known to mankind. It is worth 2 3/4 bowls of ice cream when you get that standard brick these days. Oh yeah, it's 8 servings. No, it's like 2.5. What are you people doing?
Very true.
It's robbery. It's absolute robbery, and they're trying to sit there and hey, focus on the fact that you're enjoying the ice cream, not the fact that we're saying it's 8 servings and it's really 2 3/4.
I'll give that to you.
See, ice cream down here that comes on at like 3:30 in the morning on Thursdays, and that's when we have this.
Don't even get me started with ice cream prices right now at the grocery store.
No,
so I'll leave you. I'll leave you to that.
No doubt about it. Ben and Jerry's apparently makes a Reese's cup, and they also didn't have pineapple on pizza when Emilio was on.
Except the Ben and Jerry's probably pot of ice cream that you get at the grocery store is like $16 right now.
Exactly. All right, you're not wrong. At BG Mentoring, that's Greg Garza. He's going to continue to enjoy the 6, have his Timbits, go get his coffee at Tim Hortons, have pizza, have his poutine, go to Swiss Chalet for the buffet, and make sure
I'm not a Timmy Hortons fan. I'm sorry to break it to you.
Oh, wow. Okay.
No. I can do Timbits, but I can't do their coffee.
Okay.
I'm a very gourmet coffee type of guy.
That I know from the times that I've seen you drink coffee. So get out of here, enjoy time with the better half, and we'll catch up with you soon, my friend.
See you guys. Thanks, guys.
Greg Garza in Toronto.